Are you having trouble sleeping or not making time to sleep? Well, in today's video, we're talking about why you need sleep for your chronic illness healing. Hey there, I'm Allison Samon, your functional nutritionist, and I work virtually with people like you to get out of chronic illness, escape from mystery symptoms, and help redesign your lifestyle so that you can be fit, energized, and pain-free in ways that are easy, fun, and sustainable. And so if you're new here, I want to welcome you to this growing community of people who are ready to relieve their chronic pain symptoms for good. Now, everyone needs sleep, but not everyone has a healthy relationship with it. Guilty as charged. Oh my goodness. Usually people can't get enough of it or can't get enough good quality sleep. And it seems to be in direct proportion with how they are feeling, how their health is, how if you're having a lot of chronic pain symptoms, you might not be having good sleep. If you are continuously abusing sleep and not respecting sleep, that can lead to chronic illness symptoms, maybe not today, but certainly down the line. And that was definitely part of my story, subsisting on 4 hours of sleep every night because that's pretty much what I had time for, or looking back, what I allowed there to be time for. And all the while, I'm wondering why I'm not pooping, I'm not feeling well, I'm getting lots of headaches, I have low energy. Could it be that I needed a nap and I needed some good quality sleep? It is imperative for rejuvenation, for detoxification. You must have good quality sleep. And it's not just a period of rest. It actually is important for the restoration and the rejuvenation of your immune function, for balancing and synthesizing your hormones, and to have adequate and healthy weight. Sometimes people are underweight and it's because they're not sleeping enough. And sometimes people are overweight because they're not sleeping enough. And it really just depends upon the person. So don't think, oh, well, I don't have a weight problem, so sleep doesn't matter for me. It does. It's all connected. Your sleep restores brain function and your performance, your metabolic function, your cognitive function. It is essential for your glymphatic system. So in your brain, you have glial cells. These glial cells are sort of like the entourage, where they clean up excess debris, neuronal debris. After cells die, the glial cells help to escort them out, clean them out. You don't need that. All of that debris mucks up your thinking, mucks up your cognition, gives you brain fog, causes inflammation. And there's a really excellent book by Donna Jackson Nakazawa. If you haven't read that, The Angels and the Assassin, really just blew my mind about glial cells. And I had no idea that these helper cells can actually go from being helpers to being assassins, meaning that they will over prune your brain cells, where you start to have anxiety, depression, not normal brain function. And that's because of all of these other underlying diet and lifestyle issues that have not been addressed. Now, I'm not going to be doing a review of that book, but it is excellent. And I have talked several times actually about that book on my Facebook page if you want to go there and check that out. But don't go yet. Stay here because today we are talking about sleep. And the glymphatic system supports your glial cells in cleansing the brain. And it is 10 times more effective when you sleep. Research shows that there's an increase in insomnia, which is paralleled with an increase in Alzheimer's. So if you find yourself, you are not sleeping, you constantly can't sleep, and you might have a gene for Alzheimer's, you really want to get your sleep handled post haste, because again, your glymphatic system is going to remove those waste and those toxins and the beta amyloid. So that's that plaque that is so problematic in Alzheimer's, right? And so when you have sleep, you have two systems at play. We have our circadian rhythm, which our body physiologically is programmed to wake up in the morning when we see the sun. When the sun hits our pineal gland wakes us up, and then as the day goes on, we start to decline. Our melatonin starts to rise as it starts to get dark. It starts to get sleepy. So we have external cues that are letting our internal hormonal system know when it's time to wake and when it's time to sleep. However, in modern day, we're constantly messing with that with our devices and our lights and TV screens, computer screens, street lights, marquees, all of it. Our days don't end when it starts getting dark. For some of us, it's just beginning. And I know that used to be the case for me as well. And so when we get out of sync with these cycles, that can really throw things off. And then you think, okay, well, so I went to bed really late, but then I'll just sleep really late the next day. I was just having this conversation with a client yesterday. And so she's up. Sometimes she doesn't fall asleep until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And she figures, well, I'll sleep until 10 or 11. But how does she wake up? Does she wake up feeling rested and rejuvenated, restored? No, she wakes up feeling like she's hungover. She's been partying all night when that wasn't the case at all. She was just trying to go to sleep. She was actually laying in bed trying to go to sleep, right? So her cycle is completely thrown off. And so what we need is sleep homeostasis, which is balance, the body balance, and helping our hormones that help us to feel sleep. Now, in my previous video, we talked about blood sugar balancing and how essential that is to sleep and poop. And if you are not having blood sugar balance, then it's going to actually throw off your stress hormones, which will then throw off melatonin production, because you can't have cortisol, high cortisol, and melatonin. They're like a seesaw. So when melatonin is high, cortisol is low. When cortisol, the stress hormone, is high to wake you up in the morning, that's when it should be the highest. Melatonin is low because it's time to wipe that sleep from your eyes and wakey, right? So you do want to check out that video in case you missed it. But we need the regulation of our hormones to help us feel sleepy. It typically takes 90 minutes to go through a sleep cycle. And I know that the conventional wisdom is that we should get 8 hours a day, but good quality sleep is being able to go through 5 cycles, because if it's 90 minutes of a cycle and you think about what a night would be, that actually works out to 7.5 hours. So if you are not getting 8 hours, hey, it's okay. If you're getting 7.5, great. Basically, you want to get between 7 and 9. Some people routinely get 6.5, guilty. Something I'm working on. And so this is not to shame you. This is to say, hey, if you're having chronic illness symptoms, these are areas that you want to get a handle around, right? It's not about being perfect. It's about making progress and having that body awareness. How can I help my body to function more optimally? I got to get my sleep in check. I have to go to bed earlier or not eat so late. There's different things that we can do, different tools, because lack of sleep can cause weakened immunity. It can decrease your mental and cognitive performance. You have hormone problems. Your hormones are made overnight. Your liver detoxifies overnight. So your hormones are not converting properly if you're not sleeping through the night. Excess hormones are not detoxifying properly if you are not letting your liver go through its cycle, which happens between 2 and 4 a.m. So you want to be asleep prior to that, much prior to that, so that your digestion is complete and you can go through an entire liver cycle. Because otherwise, you're going to have problems with your memory, you're going to have irritability, you're going to be craving sugar and carbs and having that brain fog, and it's all because of lack of sleep. And then if you are like I used to be, and this was a regular thing for you, after 3 days of only 4 to 5 hours of sleep, you can actually develop insulin sensitivity. And this all can be reversed or prevented if we just get that good quality sleep, because it's the sleep disorders that create the same symptoms we see in diabetes. This goes back to my blood sugar balancing video, which you can check out after this video in case you missed it. So other hormones that are affected by our lack of sleep are our hunger and satiety cues. So your leptin levels go down after one poor night of sleep. Leptin is the hormone that tells you you're full. So if you don't understand that you're full, if your brain doesn't think you're full, you're going to think you're still hungry, and this is why you overeat. This is why so many people say, oh, I have trouble with portion control. I'm a really good eater, but it's portion control. Well, if you're overeating and you're eating good food, then there's not really a problem, because you can't overeat too much fiber, right? Protein and fat. It's the empty carbs that you can overeat. Let's be real. Again, guilty as charged. But one poor night of sleep reduces leptin levels. And so people think, I have to keep eating. I have to keep eating. Ghrelin can also increase significantly. Ghrelin is your hunger hormone. Tells your body, I'm hungry. Feed me. You're hearing that, oh, I'm hungry. I want to eat. But you're not hearing, I'm full. And so this is why you can overeat. This is why we tend to eat a lot late at night if we're up late at night, because we're not sleeping. We're missing the cues. The more sleep deprived you are, the more likely you are to eat, and eat the wrong things like sugar and carbs, to give yourself energy, setting yourself up for a whole host of hormonal imbalances all day long. And if you repeat this over and over and over again, it will continue to disrupt your sleep and then affect your digestive system, which affects your liver processing, and then suddenly you are toxic. A UC Berkeley study found that with sleep deprivation, there was an increased stimulation to your amygdala. So your amygdala is the part of your brain, it's your reptile brain. Have you heard about this? So we are evolving people. I hope you're here, you're following my channel, you're in the community, you know you are working to evolve. And yet our bodies are primal. And we have a reptile brain that is really just concerned about keeping things the same so that you don't die. You made it this far and you're not going to die. And so your reptile brain is something that will keep you stuck. And there's a whole lot of mindset work that we do in functional nutrition, but your amygdala is where you are more sensitive to things. And so if you're stimulating your amygdala because you are lacking sleep, you're actually decreasing stimulation to your frontal lobe, and that's actually where willpower comes from. So now you're not hearing hunger and satiety cues, you are responding emotionally. Your amygdala, you respond emotionally to stressors and to situations, and you don't have willpower, you don't have your decision-making center of your brain. That leads to our decreased ability to use will over primitive drives, like overeating, over drinking, staying up late, picking fights, not doing things we're supposed to be doing, not treating yourself or others as you would prefer. So sleep is not just about quantity. Oftentimes if you go to your doctor and you say, hey, I'm not sleeping really well, and they might give you a medication to sleep. You might take Ambien or something to sleep. Benadryl, sometimes people take to sleep. Of course, there's melatonin, which can be helpful. There's lots of tools. There's lots of tools that I will use, both supplemental and breathing exercises and mindset tools to help you to go to sleep. But you want to make sure that you are getting a handle on all of these diet and lifestyle issues, because there are side effects with prescription sleep aids, and they're going to help you get more quantity, but not quality. And it's the quality of that sleep that will help you to make hormones properly, detoxify those hormones, repair your cells. Get where I'm going with this? So, if you find yourself that you're not sleeping well because you have all of these chronic health issues, we need to get a handle on your sleep. We need to get a handle on your blood sugar balancing. We need to get a handle on your sleep. If you are finding that you're not sleeping, if that's your first clue, sleep is essential for your chronic illness healing. We can help you with certain foods, not eating certain foods at certain times. I always like to add a bedtime snack. In particular, in functional nutrition, we call it the meat pill. And so it can be a piece of turkey, like the size of your hand. And if you don't eat meat or you just want to have something different, pumpkin seeds, a small handful of pumpkin seeds. Both of them have tryptophan in it. That amino acid is a precursor to serotonin, which is a precursor to melatonin, which helps you get better sleep. I also like tart cherry juice to help you to sleep. That also has melatonin in it. So everything we do, we want to work with our natural body's rhythms. So our external cues supporting them, using blue light blockers, not being on devices late at night, not having big lights in your face when you are getting ready to go to sleep. Having a sleep routine, having good sleep hygiene is essential. Start to turn the lights down low, start shutting things off, getting into that relaxed mode as we're getting closer to bedtime. If you can get into bed between 10 and 11 p.m., I know that doesn't work for everybody. Some people work at night. I have clients who are pilots, drummers. It doesn't necessarily work that way. First responders, people who are required. I have nurse clients, and so they're working night shifts. And so I get that sometimes our lifestyle doesn't match what we need. We still have to make adjustments, and that's what I can help you do. If you feel like you need more support around sleep, if you want more tips around how can you get more quality sleep, then I suggest you get my chronic illness recovery guide. Those are your first steps. That's the first steps in the roadmap. And by all means, please comment below. Let me know what you found to be most valuable. And we're going to be talking a lot more about this because it is a non-negotiable. In your chronic illness healing, you must have good quality sleep, blood sugar balance, and good poops. Otherwise, you're not really going to move the needle. And those are areas we address first. So get the guide. Hope this is helpful. Thanks for being here. Be sure to click the bell so that you get notified the next time I release a video. Bye for now.